Might break over on the far side, equalising goal. Craig Forsyth has done it. Ball is delivered in towards that near post area, and it is in. And Derby do have the opening goal of the game. Bird inside the penalty area now, still with Max Bird. Harahan!
Hello and welcome to the preview show from RamsTV. Derby County return to action at Pride Park Stadium this evening. They're hosting Oxford United and looking to make it back-to-back wins. That's after recording their first victory of the season at Burton Albion on Saturday. James Collins headed in the opener early in the first half, and after the break, goals from first captain Conor Harahan and then summer signing Conor Washington sealed a 3-0 win. It was Derby's first victory at the Pirelli Stadium in their fourth attempt. Oxford United are in town tonight, and if you can't be at Pride Park Stadium, it's a game you can watch worldwide on RamsTV, including right here in the UK. Get your Game Pass now at dcfc.co.uk. Your build-up to kick-off starts right here, and starts by hearing from a man who needed just 87 minutes across 3 fixtures in a Derby shirt to get his first goal for the club. Conor Washington very happy to be off the mark.
It was obviously something I've reflected on, and the last 2 clubs I've been at, I've managed to score quite early, and it just takes the pressure off, I think, which is also, obviously we can say the same about the team now as well with that first win. Hopefully we see a lot more sort of a relaxed atmosphere and body language, etc., from myself and also from the team.
Did you get, I mean, the seasons where you did have to wait a little bit longer, would you get anxious, would you get nervous waiting for that first goal?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's probably, I don't know, I've never really thought about it, but maybe like a 5-game cut-off, I don't know. After 5 games, you're thinking, probably need one now. And then you start doing things a little bit differently to get yourself in more positions, and maybe, like you say, you do get a bit anxious, snatch at things a little bit. But yeah, it's like nice to get the monkey off the back early doors, really.
And how do you reflect on the win at Burton as well? It's a pretty convincing scoreline in the end. Yeah,
I thought we were... Well, it was a derby, wasn't it? So I think the first 10, 15, 20 minutes were always going to be tough. It's not an easy place to go, whether it be a derby or not, to be honest. Obviously, pitch is very small. It's about as hostile as sort of 4,000 or 5,000 people can make it. And they're never an easy team to play against, whoever the manager's been, to be honest. So I think we managed it quite well. Early doors, obviously great for Colo to score. Set pieces, obviously something we worked really, really hard on. So I'm sure the coaching staff will be delighted with that one. And then I thought we looked relatively comfortable up until a little period in the second half. But it's 90 minutes of football at League One level. There's going to be periods where you're under pressure, and I thought the back line performed brilliantly, to be honest. Especially obviously after the last couple of games where we've conceded sort of 4 almost freak ones, to be honest. I think they all stood up, took responsibility and got the clean sheet.
I wanted to ask about how you're sort of feeling physically now, because you didn't have the pre-season that everyone else had. You had rehab to do after an injury. Are you sort of up to speed and happy with where you're at this point?
Yeah, I'd like to think so. I think Tuesday night was tough for me because you can do as much training and as whatever as you like, and even obviously managed to play a little bit of pre-season, not as much as I'd have liked, but the game comes at you fast when you've not played for a while. I think it was April 1st, my last game, and even that was off the bench. So it's been a long time since I'd started a game of football, and I think it was probably evident to myself and probably everyone else that there was a little bit of rust there. But all I can do is get more minutes on the pitch to sort of try and alleviate that.
Were you disappointed to miss out on some of the more hardcore bits of pre-season, given that you were doing the rehab?
Yeah, definitely, because obviously it's never nice, those like you say, those tough periods in pre-season, but at the same time I felt fantastic coming off the back of the pre-season last year, and just sort of rolled into the season and played like 17 on the spin sort of thing. So, which is something that I'd not done particularly often, especially at that level with the intensity obviously that we were having to play at with being at Rotherham. So, yeah, I'm disappointed to have missed out on that, but for me now it's just making sure that I get in the best shape possible, sort of topping up wherever I can to make sure that the rest of the season is injury free.
There are quite a number of new faces in the dressing room. You're one of them. I'm always fascinated by how quickly sort of groups come together and how soon it feels as though everybody's been together for years. Is that how it's felt this time for you? Yeah,
for sure. I think I was really disappointed to miss the sort of team building aspect of going away, because although it can be a little bit tedious being with each other sort of for 7 days in a row, 24/7 it feels like, but you get to know people really quickly. But I think the beauty of being my age now is that I've played against a lot of the lads or know people that have played with them for a long time. So it's been really easy to settle in. I think the coaching staff obviously play a big part in that for me as well. And being around so long, the lads know what I'm about, and they will have heard what sort of character I am. So yeah, it does. The older you get, the easier it does get to settle.
More from Conor Washington in Matchday Live from 7:15 tonight on RamsTV. Now, Oxford were Derby's first opponents back in League One at the start of last season. Both sides have a new manager since then, of course, though Paul Warne has faced Liam Manning before as Derby boss. That was back in November when Warne's Rams won at Manning's MK Dons. He was sacked not long after that game, but was appointed at Oxford with 10 games to go last season and managed to keep them up. He's had a busy summer. Club legend Manny Taylor among the departures, while the likes of Josh McEachran, Jordan Thornley and Notts County star Ruben Rodriguez have come in. Here's the Oxford boss ahead of tonight's game at Pride Park.
Tough game, but I think all of them are tough, to be fair. I think we go through the same process no matter who we're playing, in terms of first and foremost showing the opposition the right level of respect. So doing the correct opposition work, going through that process, and then making sure that we're clear and ready for our game plan. So it's a difficult place to go, and when you look at the size of the club, the fan base, the recent history, the budget, when you look at it, it's understandable why they're favourites, but at the same point it doesn't change anything we do, and the belief that we have to have in terms of us, knowing the quality we've got in the group, I'm confident that we can go there and get something.
That belief never wavered, did it? Last week we had a couple of defeats. Well, one league defeat, as you said to me, it's one league defeat. The belief never wavers.
No, the belief doesn't, and also I think the most important bit is the emotional control. I think it's getting harder, I think, just in terms of the impatience in people. Seeing a couple of groups of fans apparently already calling for managers in their heads, so it's just crazy 2 games in. That's where the world's going. We're living in a time where people tend to be a little more impatient, so something that we have to suck up and deal with, and again I think countering that is just how we act. So again, I think role modelling emotional control and not getting too high or too low is really important, and stuff in not easy time to do a good job of that. So I think it's really important that we stay level, we stay focused, we believe in the work that we do, and that's where for me I think we should get our confidence. The work that we do on the training pitch, the video work, the group of lads, the recruitment we've done. I think that's for me why that's what allows me to kind of stay more stable, knowing that that I think the work we do is good.
That's the Oxford United boss Liam Manning there. Well, like Derby, Oxford lost on the opening day of the season and then fell at the first hurdle in the EFL Cup last week before finally getting their first victory at the weekend. Let's get an early assessment on Derby's start to the season from first team coach Matt Hamshaw.
I think it's always difficult, and you see games, and you've watched a lot of games this weekend where like the cohesion, the togetherness, and you're still finding out things when real pressure cooker comes. Pre-season's all well and good, and you can have great pre-seasons and not so great pre-seasons, but until league games start, it can always be a time where certainly us as coaches see, right, what we got, where do we need to strengthen, what areas are we looking at. You see things in pre-season that you think might fit. Sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it does. But that's what you're always looking at, really. And I thought, as ugly as Saturday's game probably was for a spectacle point of view, we had the bit of quality, and that's what we need to start showing more of.
I know it wasn't a complete performance at Burton, but it was a 3-0 win. What were you pleased with? What are you still looking to work on after that?
We're pleased with a 3-0 win, obviously scoring 3 goals, 3 points. Like, it's always nice to get your first 3 points. Obviously, we wanted them against Wigan. We thought level of performance were good against Wigan. We just didn't take his chances. Probably weren't as good Saturday and won 3-0. So that probably emphasises the point that I'm making to you, that there's going to be different challenges. There'll be games where we dominate and win by a lot of goals, and there'll be games when we dominate and we lose 1-0 and be going, how's that happened? So there's a lot of variables within it. However, we've just got to keep level-headed. Players are certainly level-headed. Support were great on Saturday from 3 sides at stands, which I've never really seen. I've never seen a derby goal and away at home end go up as much. But just a really good occasion for club. I know it's a long time since club won at Burton, if they ever have. So great for fans.
I spoke to Conor Washington earlier. He got off the mark, so did James Collins. How good is it to have your strikers scoring early in the season?
100%, yeah. You want everybody flying. Obviously, Conor got his goal. We need goals in the team, and obviously they're paid to score goals, so that's what we want from them. We want to get him in goal-scoring areas. Colo's had a good pre-season, so it was nice for him to get his goal, give him a bit of confidence. Wash, obviously, Waggy got the assist, so it's nice for him. But we know we've got goals in the team. Obviously, we're always looking to add, and any players that come up that make us better, we're obviously showing firm interest in them. But so far, we haven't found that striker. Now, that's probably credit to ones that we've got in this building.
A couple of attacking players that you haven't had so far, Louis Sibley, Tom Barkhuizen, are they getting closer?
Yeah, Sibs is back training again, so which is good, and hopefully Tom should be middle towards end of this week. So they'll be a little bit behind fitness-wise, because obviously, as most fans saw in Spain, as running lads up and down hills, they didn't take part in that, so they're a little bit behind. So we'll need to get them some minutes and obviously work them hard in training, which I know Sibs certainly is now, to get them up to speed. So they'll hopefully come back into the squad in 2 games' time, fingers crossed.
Another busy week for you, starting with Oxford United on Tuesday at Pride Park. What are you expecting from them? They've had a good summer. Yeah,
good summer, good recruitment, good manager, good management staff. We know them really well. Obviously from their MK Dons times, play good football, want to attack, want to get on the front foot, like to have the ball. So it's going to be another tough game, but it's one that we're really looking forward to. Lads have obviously took confidence from Saturday, and we need to make sure that we start winning at home, because it's going to be key. Make sure fans are behind us and we can give a real good account of ourselves in what will be a really good game. 2 good teams trying to win 3 points, and we need to make sure that we come out on top.
Matt Hamshaw there, more from him in the show later. 5 teams in League One go into the night having recorded 2 wins out of 2 so far. That includes Wigan, who visit Carlisle this evening. Another victory for them would see Wigan erase the 8-point penalty that they started the season with. Elsewhere, Barnsley take on Peterborough, Bolton welcome Fleetwood, and Portsmouth face Exeter. That one is one of a couple of 8 o'clock kickoffs. And here, it's Derby County against Oxford United. And if you can't make it to Pride Park Stadium tonight, you'll get the very best coverage of your team right here on RamsTV. We're available worldwide tonight, including in the UK. So get your Game Pass now at dcfc.co.uk. We'll see you at 7:15 for Matchday Live. Goodbye.